Yo, what's good? Ignore those boxes in the back. I like to build fires and stuff like that. Without further ado, let's get into this video. If you clicked on this, you are ready to awaken. And I want to really talk about this in a way that you may not have really heard before because people always talk about awakening, but people don't really realize what that truly means. Like, even the word awaken, right? That is supposed to relate to a state of pretty much coming out of a sleep. Like when you wake up, you come out of a sleep, right? And people don't realize the different levels of sleep they're inside of and the different layers to or the different layers of reality which you can awaken to. I'll say it like that. And I'm going to explain this way more. But right now, especially with the energy that's going on right now, it's springtime. At the time of me recording this, it's really a good time for you to see this video. It really is. It's really important. We need to realize more and more and more that this reality is a dream of sorts. Now, don't hear that and then get all woo woo crazy about it because there's really no need to do all of that. Understand that this reality is quote unquote real in the sense of this thing is actually real. It's not like some fake stuff that it's not like created as a dream as in the way that most people think about dreams. And here's what I mean by that. When you dream, right? It's a bit more personal to you, because you are the main consciousness behind that dream. And when I say you, I'm using you in this sense in regards to your character, right? Your character, right? Whether your name is Franklin, whether your name is Suzanne, when you have a dream, the information that gets the information that goes into that dream is usually formed from the personality and from the character which you are, unless you get deeper with inside of your mind. And this whole entire thing of getting deeper is really important because this is actually how you awaken to different layers of the dream. Now, here's what I'm saying, right? Inside your regular mundane dreams pretty much apply to who you are with inside that current state. Now, if you get deeper and deeper, you could have dreams that start to include spiritual lessons, which pretty much come from parts of you which want the main version of you to awaken to yourself. You see, this is what immortality is actually inside the Bible. And here's what I mean. It's not just about, let me put it like this. I'm not a Christian, right? So if a Christian's seeing this, bro, I don't want to, you know what I'm saying? You may believe certain shit. But from what I've read inside the Bible thus far, right? They actually have a verse about how the spirit returns back, quote unquote, to the Lord, right? Right? Which means that your spirit is going to always go back to the Most High. So, what is the thing that's going through hell? It's actually your personality. You see, people in the Bible compare hell to like a furnace, right? And then also one of the words for hell is actually Gehenna in Hebrew, and Gehenna is like a trash dump outside of Jerusalem and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure. I know it's a trash dump for a fact. Now, when you have trash, right? You throw it like when you have trash, like let's say like you threw away like a whole bunch of like plates from dinner and old apple cores and whatever the fuck. The stuff inside the trash is things that were once useful, but then you get rid of the parts that are no longer useful. For example, you have a bag of chips. You open the bag, you eat the chips, that was useful, you throw the bag out. You know what I'm saying? You got water, you drink the water, you take what's useful, then you throw that shit the fuck out. You know what I'm saying? And then all that shit gets burned. Some shit may get recycled. You see what I'm saying? And I'm saying that because these are the words that hell gets referred to. In fact, the main word for hell is actually Sheol, which isn't even a burning place where you get tormented at. It's actually just a place where all dead people go. Now, when they talk about heaven and when they talk about specifically eternal life, right? That's for your personality. Because if you are a soul, right? Because your soul is different from your spirit. They make that a clear fact in the Bible. Like so, here's how it works, right? Your spirit is the eternal energy which keeps you alive, which comes from the Most High, right? Your soul is the awareness that forms out of that energy. So you know how it says God breathed into us, right? What that means is that God, quote unquote, God, the Most High, you can say the most high intelligence, but it's actually way beyond intelligence. You can't really comprehend what that actually is. What you want to call it, source, spirit, whatever the heck, right? That thing, right? That thing poured its life into you, aka that thing split itself off from itself. The breath just refers to the energy and the consciousness of the thing which is giving out the breath, because the word for breath is literally spirit in Hebrew. You know what I'm saying? I actually pulled it. I should have pulled up a lot of stuff actually. Let's pull up the stuff about hell real quick. You know what I'm saying? I'm not lying. This is a Patreon video I was uploading. My fault. Hold up. Um, boom. All right. So let's look up hell in Hebrew. Right. Right. Okay. Hold up. Hell. It was supposed to pull up the AI. I don't know why I ain't do that. Maybe it'll kind of look bad. Okay. Let me finesse it for y'all real quick. Hold up. Finessed it. All right. So in the Hebrew Bible, hell is also associated with the word Sheol. Sheol is the underworld of the grave, a place of stillness and darkness after death, rather than a place of eternal punishment. You know what I'm saying? So Sheol is one of them. You know what I'm saying? Which is the grave or the pit, which is where everybody goes to. You know, and I can even look up more about that too. You know what I'm saying? Look. Sheol. You know what I'm saying? Um, let's just type that in. Refers to the abode of the dead, often translated as hell or the pit. It's a place of darkness, nonsense activity where dead are cut off from the living and from God. It's not punishment. Yeah, but hold on, let's look at this now. Does everyone go to Sheol? Because technically it's like no, but everyone used to go there in old Jewish thought. Go to. Yeah, the Old Testament concept was that everyone, regardless of their status in life, went to Sheol after death. You know, and this is also referring to your personality and stuff like that. You know, because hold on, let's pull out the verse about your spirit. And here's what I'm using the Bible, right? Using the Bible is actually a really good way to see certain things, because people people misinterpret the Bible all the time, right? But it's one of the most like biggest, most known spiritual books ever. You know, aside from other manipulation behind it and stuff like that. Like I said, I'm not no goddamn Christian, but I will use the Bible. I will use the Bible to prove my fucking points. You know, get the fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? Because even niggas who wrote the Bible know this shit. Let's be real about that. Okay, there's a reason why they be saying that certain people rule the world right now. If you don't know what I mean, then we just gonna leave it at that. But anyway, let's look up all spirits return to the Lord. And like I ain't even get deep in this video yet. You know what I'm saying? This video is gonna include mad shit about awakening, bro. But anyway, the biblical passage Ecclesiastes 12:17. You know what I'm saying? So let's pull that up real quick, bro. I got you. All right, bro. Let's pick game, right? KJV and all that. Niggas love KJV and shit. But look, it says, "Then shall the dust return to the earth as it was, and the spirit shall return to God who gave it." You know, it's talking about when we die and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Our body's gonna go to dust. You know what I'm saying? The spirit goes to God. You know what I'm saying? So inside the Bible, when they mention a soul, when they mention a soul, a spirit, and a body, right? You know what I'm saying? That verse just covered the spirit and the body. So our body goes to the dust, but our spirit goes to the Lord. So where the fuck does the soul go? Your soul is the awareness that comes from that eternal energy which you have been given by the Most High Creator. Okay? That's what your soul is. Your soul is the awareness that forms out of that. Now, from that awareness, you can either observe your body or observe your spirit. You can either observe your eternal self or observe your physical self. And if you live more from the physical self, right, your soul gets attached to the physical self, and then it goes to hell. One of them, which is being Gehenna, which I showed. I could show that again. Hold up. Because I showed y'all Sheol, you know what I'm saying? Which kind of, I'm gonna talk about Sheol also in a little bit. Hopefully, I don't forget. But, nigga, Gehenna, right? Gehenna refers to a real valley outside Jerusalem where garbage and fire were burned and where human sacrifices were once performed. You know what I'm saying? So that's where garbage and fire burned. You know. So with that being said, right? They also call hell the furnace. You know what I'm saying? A furnace, what does a furnace do? It literally purifies metals, right? So when it comes to you, if your soul gets attached to your body, right, you need that attachment to get broken from your body to return back with your spirit, because your soul technically comes from your spirit. It's the awareness. It's pretty much the awareness that gets birthed out of that spirit. You see what I'm saying? So with that being said, you need to really be able to actually, align with the spirit if you want to actually have that eternal life. Because your personality could become a spiritual personality or a physical personality. And this is what you see inside the Bible. And this is the reason why they have Christ being the main figure, the perfect human, to show you a spiritual personality that actually achieved eternal life. And by Christ achieving eternal life, he shows you that you can also do the same exact thing if you have a spiritual personality. You see what I'm saying? That's why he literally let himself die and came back 3 days later, even with his body getting resurrected also. You see what I'm saying? That nigga was a fucking immortal. And the thing is, there's niggas, nigga, if you read a book called The Life and Teachings from Masters of the Far East, you'll easily understand that, what's it called? That there's immortals that live in freaking Asia. Now, I'll be right back. Hold up. Yeah, there's the immortals in Asia. You know what I'm saying? It may sound crazy if you don't believe in that, then you're not ready to awaken. I ain't going cat. Just get off the video because there's mad stuff I gotta talk about inside this video. You know what I'm saying? But understand that, yeah, the story of Christ is something that you could do also. Then you have eternal life because your soul observes your spirit, and then if the body dies, you have a spiritual self that stays alive. You see what I'm saying? And this is how you remember your past lives also, because your past lives are just past personalities and characters which you took on. Whether you have a past life as an Indian, you have a past life as a white person, you have a past life as a freaking alien, whatever it is, right? These are just different characters. You see what I'm saying? And if with inside of that lifetime, you didn't actually achieve a spiritual awareness, right? That personality kind of just dies on, right? You pretty much just don't remember it because you weren't that conscious. You weren't conscious enough to remember it. So, like for example, right? I am someone who has become aware of their past lives, right? I talk about it, you know what I'm saying? And while becoming aware of my past lives, I'm able to do this because number one, I am obtaining a higher awareness of my own spirit because your spirit has been inside of you see the soul, right? You have this individual soul that's attached to this body and stuff like that right now, but your soul comes from your spirit, and your spirit has birthed many different souls, right? Inside, like let's say you have a past life and you were some type of priest, right? You know what I'm saying? That at that point in time, that soul is not the same as this soul because when you were observing life, right, as a priest, you were doing that through your soul because your soul is the observer. So my soul right now is observing this life. Your soul over here observed that life. But those souls come from your spirit, and your spirit holds all the information. So if you're able to literally observe yourself, right, you're able to observe the observer, right, you can actually observe where the observer came from, which is your spirit, the greater observer that observes all things and that observes all your lifetimes. You know what I'm saying? It's the eternal energy. And that spirit, right, came from the Most High. You see what I'm saying? So with that being said, your spirit comes from the Most High, therefore it's going to return to the Most High. Now, if you have a spiritual awareness, right, while inside this life, if your name is Jeffrey, right, you know what I'm saying, and your name is Jeffrey, and as Jeffrey, you become a spiritual person, the true spirit, not a fake spiritual, whatever, weird person. If you become a person who's truly aware of your spirit inside this lifetime, now Jeffrey also ascends with the spirit, you see? And that personality becomes immortal. It's eternal. You will always remember it because Jeffrey became aware of himself and realized that Jeffrey was never even Jeffrey in the freaking first place. You know what I'm saying? But if you have a lifetime where Jeffrey just stays Jeffrey and he just fucking never became aware of himself, that personality dies with the body. Kind of gets recycled into the earth and stuff like that. And whatever fragments of the soul are attached to that body will eventually get purified out of the vessel and then go back with the spirit, But the parts that go back with the spirit will have nothing to do with freaking Jeffrey. Now, if Jeffrey, like I said, if Jeffrey became aware of his spirit, you know what I'm saying, then Jeffrey would be like, holy crap, I'm not even Jeffrey in the first place. And then all parts would go back, which would also be the memories of Jeffrey, even though you're not Jeffrey. That's why you get past like memories and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So like if you die with a high awareness, this character will always be you could always transform into this character. You could always be this character if you whenever you want to. You know what I'm saying? You could flip into your other past life characters because there's certain past lives that children never really remember. You know what I'm saying? Because they didn't have a high awareness inside that lifetime, so it wouldn't even pop up. All the past lives that pop up are ones that you had some level of awareness in. That's why you remember it in the first place. You can't remember things without the awareness of the event. That's how memory literally works. Memory is not attached to the body. Memory is actually a faculty of the soul. It's just that if you look at the brain, you can see that certain parts of your brain deal with memory because your soul stores memory in the physical body through those parts of your brain. But the memory didn't come from your brain; it's just stored inside the brain. And then if that memory doesn't become back to if that memory doesn't go back to the soul, it dies with the brain and goes back to the earth, gets purified to freak out. You see what I'm saying? So that's what this whole entire thing even means. So what does that mean for you? That means that if you want to really awaken inside your life, you need to wake up from the fact that you're not the character. You are not this character. You are the awareness behind the character. And that awareness behind the character comes from an eternal energy that you have, which has been inside of several different lifetimes. And that eternal energy literally came from the Most High. And understand that you are living within inside of a dream and that there's several layers to awaken to. There's 12 layers to reality, right? There's 12 planes of existence that you can become aware of. This is where you get a 1D consciousness, 2D consciousness, not first dimension, but first density consciousness. Understand that the physical plane is the first plane of existence, meaning that it's the densest plane. You start on the physical plane, right? If someone says the physical is a 3D, that only kind of makes sense if you're talking about scientific terms. Scientists say we live in the third dimension because we live inside of a space that has three known dimensions: length, width, and height. You know what I'm saying? Now you're getting the fourth one, which is space time. You know what I'm saying? Which is all space time is the three dimensions of space, length, width, and height on top of time. That's what space time means. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, right? In a spiritual sense, we're talking about the 12 planes of existence. This is the first plane, you know what I'm saying, which deals with the first density, because the density is a level of consciousness based upon what plane you can observe. You see, we live inside the first density, but humans are not. Well, I should really say we live inside the first plane of existence, but humans are not one density beings because we could perceive higher planes of existence which upgrade our density of consciousness. You see what I'm saying? On a base level, humans have a third density consciousness. They're able to observe and actually see imagery to physical reality. Plants are 2D because they can't really see things, but they can still feel things. Like they can sense sunlight and then actually like based off sensing sun, they can make food and stuff like that and do all, you know what I'm saying? A rock would be first density because all rocks do is exist. They can't feel, they can't see. Now, a fourth density human is a human that's actually able to think, right? That's the mental plane. They can actually think about things, right? They can actually have thoughts. That's where most humans are pretty much reaching. Their humans are becoming aware of their own thoughts, which gives them an awareness of their character. That's like the first step, awakening to your character. Like awakening to your thoughts and realizing that your thoughts come from the main character that you're inhabiting right now. Because the fourth plane is the mental plane. And the mental body is simply just your mind. What is your mind? Your mind is a group of information. Now, based upon this group of information, you might identify with certain groups more than other groups. You see what I'm saying? Which is what forms pretty much your character in the quote unquote mind of your character. Now you only really have one mind, but there's several different layers. People say the conscious mind, the subconscious mind, they're not different minds. It's one mind, different layers. So with inside this group of information, you're aware of some parts, you're partially aware of some parts, and you're unaware of all these other parts. You see what I'm saying? If you have a conscious mind, that's the group of information that you hold, which you're actually aware of. Then you have a subconscious mind, aka the subconscious layer of your mind, which is just the information that you're only partially aware of. You know what I'm saying? Like if you see like a symbol, the information might pop back up again, but it's not always within inside your conscious mind or your conscious level of awareness within inside of your mind. Then you have the unconscious. You have all this information which you're not even aware of. You have so much information stored inside your soul that comes from your spirit, which you're not even aware of. This is where all your past lives are, all your karmas, your purpose for even existing. All these things exist on the deeper layers of your mind. And if you get deeper and deeper, and see, remember how I said that depth is important. When you get deeper with inside of your mind, right, you're just actually tapping more into your soul. And as you realize that you have a soul, you start tapping more into your spirit, because the origins of this group of information comes from your soul. What's your soul again? Your soul is the awareness that forms from the eternal energy of your spirit. you could say that it's an individualized focal point of awareness. That's what your soul is. It's the thing that actually observes. And as you observe things, you start to remember what you observed. It stores it inside of itself. You know what I'm saying? And you can also make judgments about it. You can have thoughts about it. You see what I'm saying? So you're, because the thing that thinks is actually your intellect. Your mind doesn't think. Your intellect is what thinks. But your intellect thinks thoughts based upon the information within inside of your mind. Your intellect, the thing that thinks, it bases its thoughts off of the information that you're aware of most of the time. And sometimes the information that you're partially aware of. You see what I'm saying? But your intellect is limited. Your intellect, the thing that thinks and makes judgments, comes from the soul, which is what observes things, right? So your mind, right, the group of information, right, and your intellect come from your soul. So your soul is pretty much like the father of your mind, but then your spirit is the father of your soul. So when you get deeper inside your mind, right, you tap into the soul. When you get deeper inside your soul, you tap into the spirit. When you get deeper inside your spirit, you tap more into that which creates all things. And when you get that deep, you literally begin to actually be able to communicate with reality in several different ways, because you start to get deeper and notice different aspects of reality. You notice different aspects of yourself also. You could realize how there's actually certain archetypes within inside of your mind. You know what I'm saying? And there's certain archetypes that come with simply just the human body. Because the human body also holds information which your soul now observes. You see, even because like all the deep information within inside of your mind, right, is not even always spiritual stuff. You know what I'm saying? You're not like we're not fully always aware of the information that's stored inside of our body, because our body holds mad information that's within inside of our unconscious layer, which is within inside the unconscious layer of our mind. You see what I'm saying? Let me sip on this water real quick. Yeah, nah, son. So with that being said, we have a lot of information, right? And when you get deeper and deeper, you become aware of all this information. At some point, you go beyond the information and get to the soul that observes all things. Then you tap into the spirit. Then you tap into that which creates all things. Now, as you do that, you notice the different aspects of your mind, different aspects of the body. You know what I'm saying? You notice several different aspects that have their own groups of intelligence. So your mind is a group of intelligence, but with inside that group, there's even smaller groups. Like inside your mind, you have a group of information, but you have different groups that could deal with, like, for example, one group deals with what you like to eat for dinner. One group deals with what you like to eat for lunch. One group deals with what you want to eat for dessert, and then that just forms one group of food. Then you also have another freaking group. One group about how to put deodorant on. One group for how to freaking brush your teeth. One group for how to shower. And then all that gets mixed up with hygiene. Then you have another group, you know what I'm saying? How to actually sustain my living, how to actually what's called make money, you know what I'm saying? How to stay passionate about stuff, you know what I'm saying? How to be disciplined. And then all that goes in a section called business, you know? Like whatever it like you have several groups of information inside your mind. And as you get deeper, you start to notice all these different architectural parts, or I should say archetypal parts of your mind, which are just archetypes, and they all kind of function in a certain kind of way and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And this is where you actually get most of the deity systems, like Egypt. Egypt has just had all the Egyptians did was tap into themselves and then recognize different aspects of themselves. But then as people conquered the Egyptians and as people lost the ways of the original Egyptians, as people stopped reading their own texts because they couldn't read the language that it was in at the period of time, when people just took when people tried to recreate what the original Egyptians did, they started thinking that these deities were actual people and we're actual beings. And then what happened is you have entities that start to be like, oh, I could just shapeshift to look like Isis and say, hey, worship me, I'm Isis. Whole time it's not really Isis. You see what I'm saying? Because Isis is just literally a symbolic archetypal image of what goes on with inside of you in regards to your soul's wisdom and your spiritual awareness. I made a video called How Your Ego Destroys Your Soul. Look it up on my YouTube, right? I didn't make it too long ago. You know what I'm saying? That video literally talks about the myth in regards to the Osiris resurrection myth, and it talks about what it actually means. How it's literally a story about how your ego destroys your soul, and then how your spiritual awareness puts your soul back together and overcomes the ego. You know what I'm saying? Like when your spiritual awareness redeems your soul, you start to form the higher self, and the higher self is what overcomes the ego. But if you watch the video, you're gonna know more about what I mean. You see, and the reason why they made these things symbolically is because it's like a fucking dream. You see, like that's why they did that. It's a fucking dream. You know, inside your dream, you meet several different characters that are just different parts of you most of the time. Now, you can have dreams where you leave your body unconsciously. At that point, you're interacting with actual beings. But dreams that happen inside of your own mind, you're just interacting with different parts of yourself that have formed that could form themselves as characters. You see how that fucking works? When you actually have a dream, right? You may have a teacher inside your dream, right? But all that teacher really is just a symbol for the parts of your mind which are trying to teach you. You know what I'm saying? You literally have information inside your mind that was able to group together and then form a personality, a way of expression, and then talk to you as a separate personality. You know what I'm saying? But that thing still came from you. It's still you. The deities are just you. That's why there's really a whole Egyptian myth about eating the gods and goddesses. You see what I'm saying? But that just means that when you eat all the gods and goddesses, you literally take the power of all of them because they're all you. You unify yourself. So it's really just saying, oh, if I eat Osiris, then I'm eating my soul. I'm taking back my soul. When I eat Isis, that's my soul's wisdom. You know what I'm saying? That's why Osiris and Isis are mirrored. They're just two halves of the same whole. Your soul is attached to its wisdom. It's unified with its wisdom. Also, is your spiritual awareness. Your soul should always be unified with your spiritual awareness. Because inside the myth, when your soul unifies with physical awareness, that's when the ego actually destroys the soul. And at that point, the spiritual awareness has to redeem the soul and then form the higher self, the higher version of yourself, which actually stay in tune with the spiritual awareness. Then it overcomes the ego. You see what I'm saying? But like I said, watch that video. It's a really great myth that really explains how to awaken inside reality and not fall to the illusion of physical reality. That's what the whole entire point of the fucking myth is, which people, and they made it like that on purpose because when the people tried to recreate what the fuck they did it when they took them over and stuff, they interpreted that shit wrong and got fucked up. In fact, nigga, sometimes like for example, let's say that some Egyptians got killed, right? You know what I'm saying? The original Egyptians got killed, right? Nigga, they may have a lot of them. A lot of them like were immortals in the sense of they had perfectly fine spiritual bodies. So like, yeah, their head got chopped off, but they still had a spiritual form after that, and they their shit would be fucking strong. And at that point, nigga, they may shapeshift into a deity and say, "Oh yeah, nigga." I'm Osiris. Nigga, sacrifice your babies to me. And then at that point, the angry Egyptian is feeding off the fucking life force of the baby, which belongs to the fucking father, and that father is who killed the Egyptian in the first place. And it's saying sacrifice to me. It says, nigga, I'm Osiris. Whole time it really is. You see what I'm trying to say? So this shit is really this shit could get fucking deep. You know what I'm saying? This shit could get real fucking deep. But I'm not saying that it's always that. It's not always an ancestor that's fucking taking the form of Osiris. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that, but that is a possibility. You know, it'd be all kinds of entities that take the form of these different deities. You know what I'm saying? And when you don't understand what they're trying to talk about, you get caught inside the illusion of physical reality. You see? And even seeing things is an illusion. You need to know how to go beyond what you see. Because just because you have a dream about, like, if you have a dream about, if you have a dream about ISIS, right? And then start trying to worship ISIS, and then you have a being named ISIS come talk to you. You might be getting manipulated, or you might just be crazy, or it might be an actual spirit guide who realizes that you can't understand them unless you see them as ISIS, so they appear as ISIS, but really they could appear as fucking anything. You see what I'm saying? My whole entire point is though, when you have a dream about ISIS, that's literally supposed to be a dream that is trying to show you a symbol of the fact that your soul's wisdom is awakening. You see? So if ISIS takes you to, if you go to sleep every night and ISIS teaches you mad things, all that's happening is that you're getting deeper with your soul's wisdom. You're teaching yourself through the image of Isis. That's all that's happening. You know what I'm saying? It's not an actual being, you know? Now, if you want to see it as that, that's okay. But I'm trying to tell you that when you awaken to reality, you recognize that there's several different layers of reality and several different fucking groups of intelligences inside of fucking these. Like, literally, the word spirit, right, is an intelligent energy. You know what I'm saying? So technically, the deities technically are spirits, but a spirit is not an entity. An entity is a conscious being. a spirit is an intelligent energy. It's an energy that has its own intelligence. Like for example, anger. They have several deities that just represent anger. You know that shit? Yeah, several deities just represent anger. You know what I'm saying? But anger is an intelligent energy. How do we know this? Because when you feel angry, you feel the energy of anger, but then you also think angry thoughts. That's the intelligence of anger. Nigga, when you get angry, you can become a whole different person because at that point you're tapping into the intelligent energy of anger. That energy is literally intelligent. Same with all the deities too. These are intelligent energies. You know what I'm saying? Your soul's wisdom is an intelligent energy. It really is. These like so I'm not saying that like when they say that they're spirits that they're wrong, but they're not entities. They're not actual beings that have their own consciousness saying that I am this person doing this. Now, even if you have a dream and that spirit starts saying I am that, it's not actually that. You're just seeing it as that. You know what I'm saying? That's just how it's that because you're the thing that's giving it consciousness. You give it the consciousness because it's a part of you. It's a spirit that's inside of yourself. Because we are made of several different intelligent energies. That's like literally, our mind is literally that's what our mind when our mind is holding information, where's that information come from? Spirits, intelligent energies. Information is just acted out intelligence. You know what I'm saying? It's just acted out and stored intelligence. When you hold information, you're just holding intelligence that you're just holding intelligence which acted itself out. You know what I'm saying? What's intelligence? The ability to know something. So information, like if I say the sky is blue, that's a certain knowing, right? My intelligence is my ability to know things. You know what I'm saying? So my ability to know that the sky is blue now gives me information that the sky is blue. It gives me that knowing of it. You know what I'm saying? So information is just acted out intelligence. It's intelligence that has been applied to reality, or that has been applied to something and has been given a result and has been given a knowing of that thing, and then you store that information, whether it's like a high knowing or a low knowing. I may know that the sky is blue, but I may know that the sky is blue, but I don't know why it's blue. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I actually understand why it's blue, but like that'd be an example, you know? Now, with that being said, right, this is like a dream. And there are several different spirits that make up reality. There are several different intelligent energies that make up reality. You see what I'm saying? We have recognized these as deities, and people have worshipped them, acting as if they are outside of them, but really they're actually are inside. They're actually all inside of you. That's why when you eat the gods and goddesses, you're just recollecting your own intelligent energies and actually ascending way beyond them. You see? So, like, literally, it's crazy how many deities represent parts of your soul and your mind. Like, for example, you have Thoth, you have Hathor, you have Ra, you have Osiris, you have Isis, you have Set and Nebuchadnezzar. These are all parts of you. Let's go down the let's start. Let's actually start with baby Horus Behude, and I'm actually getting this from the Egyptian tree of life. Let's actually pull this up real quick for y'all. Nigga, I'm about to get y'all some motherfucking sauce real quick, bro. I swear to God. All right, bro. Let's start at the bottom of the list, bro. You got baby Horus, you got Heru and then you got Heru Behude, right? Now Horus eventually becomes your higher self, right? Which is Heru Ur. This is when Horus or Heru actually defeats Set. You know what I'm saying? It defeats your ego and overcomes your ego, and it regains its eternal awareness, right? But at first, it's Heru Pakard. It's Horus the child. See, this is your beginning spiritual aspiration. Now, you may notice that Anubis is nowhere on the tree of life. That's because Anubis leads you to the tree of life. Anubis is discernment. Okay, that's why it's a dog, because you know how like dogs like can protect the house. Your discernment protects your soul. You know what I'm saying? If you're discerning of what's of the physical, what's of the spiritual, what's good for you, what's bad for you, you don't get caught up inside your ego and all this other bullshit. You know what I'm saying? You just stay aligned with your spiritual nature. You know. Now, with that being said, right, you have Horus the child. Okay, Horus the child is birthed after Anubis leads you to the tree. So, because you have discerned that the spiritual reality is what really matters, you start having a certain aspiration to actually become spiritual. And I mean actually spiritual. What does spiritual mean? To become of the spirit. You know what I'm saying? Now the spirit could refer to your spirit as your own individual eternal energy, or the spirit, the highest energy, whether it's source, God, whatever you want to call it, whatever, you know? So with that being said, right? You start having this aspiration to actually become of that thing. You want to become like this thing. You want to become one with this thing. That's the beginning aspiration. Now, as your aspiration grows, right, you become Heru Behude. This is Heru the Challenger. So once you have really, grown in your aspiration. Once you're like, I want to be spiritual, I want to be spiritual. You may still go through some trials. You may still fail a little bit. You may try to fucking walk, but then you end up falling down and stuff like that. But at some point, you start saying, you know what, bro, I want to really overcome the physical. I want to really overcome the physical reality. You know what I'm saying? Boom. That's when you become Heru Behude. So these are different versions of your higher self. And one version is fucking like mastered, which is Heru, or one part is a fucking child, it's still growing, and one part is a part of your higher self that has grew enough to actually want to overcome the physical, right? Okay, boom. Now you have Set. It says it right here, that's your ego. You know what I'm saying? This is the character that forms as a result of you forgetting your spiritual awareness. And your ego is actually, Set is married to Nebuchadnezzar or Nephthys, right? Set is married to Nebuchadnezzar. Set is married to mortality. Also, she represents physical awareness and death. You know what I'm saying? So your character is going to die. Your character is not fully real. Or I should say, your character is not like a natural creation. It's created by you. It wasn't like it didn't come from the Most High. It came from you. You know what I'm saying? So with that being, and when I say it came from you, I'm using you now in this sense as your own spirit and your own soul. Your soul eventually crafted this personality for itself. You know what I'm saying? Now, with that being said, above that, you have Osiris or Asar and Set. Osiris and Isis. They're married also because this is your eternal soul, and this is also your wisdom, your intuition, your spiritual awareness. These two are married. So your soul should be married to your spiritual awareness. Your ego's married to your physical. Because the thing is, you need an ego still, right? You need a character to actually act in physical reality. There's nothing wrong with the character. It only becomes bad when you become attached to the character. Because at that point, if you become attached to the character and you become attached to the physical, at that point Osiris is marrying Nebuchadnezzar. You know what I'm saying? At that point, your soul is purely observing physical reality and it's not observing its wisdom. See, when you act inside the physical, do that with your character and shit like that, but still be aware of that which makes the character. Once you start thinking that you actually are the character, you start falling to the illusion of physical reality, and then it's at that point it's Osiris marrying Nebuchadnezzar, and then Set kills them. Your ego destroys you. But yeah, and then you have Nut and Geb. Nut is the heavens and the stars. Geb is the earth, right? Now, it also deals with certain principles inside of you. See, Nut is your ability to expand beyond the physical and actually reach out to the heavens. Geb is pretty much the force that keeps you constricted and keeps you bound to the earth until you're ready to ascend. Because not all people are ready to ascend. Like if you got this far, you're ready to awaken and you're ready to ascend. Some people who clicked off, they're not fully ready yet. You know what I'm saying? So Geb kept them down. Like they felt a certain force to stay down in the physical and not progress and get higher. I'm now the thing is I'm not saying that niggas who don't watch this video are not gonna. I'm not saying that people who don't watch this video will not progress inside their lives. I'm just saying it's kind of like that may be an example. You know what I'm saying? Because they may awaken inside the other way. That's not through this video. My whole entire point is that's just an example. Long story short, give us the force that keeps you restricted to the earth until you're ready to actually awaken and expand beyond the physical. You see what I'm saying? At that point, you get Shu and Tefnut. Tefnut is the energy that's actually with inside of space. You know what I'm saying? And then Shu is space in and of it. So all the stars that's in the heavens are actually just made from energy. You know what I'm saying? And Shu is the actual space. Now inside of yourself, right? When you actually hit this state, see, so when you're going up here, when you get to Nut and Geb, you're expanded beyond the earth and you're learning higher spiritual wisdom. You know what I'm saying? You may be leaving your body at this point, exploring the stars, exploring different realms and galaxies and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But at some point, you get to Shu and Tefnut. This is when you start actually tapping into, you could say, the void, right? You pretty much recognize the emptiness behind all things. And you also recognize the energy behind all things. You recognize the void and the infinity. You know what I'm saying? So at this point you tap into the nothingness, but you feel the energy inside nothingness. You can literally feed off the energy inside of space, you know what I'm saying? Then you transcend to become one with your spirit, you know what I'm saying, which is Ra, your eternal energy, you know what I'm saying? You start to literally you because like your soul, since your soul's just in because like when you're here, right? You're like inside of your soul, but your soul is exploring higher aspects of reality still. So, but it's still in reality. At this point, you begin transcending reality. It's like, okay, my soul is experiencing all these higher parts of myself. I'm seeing all these higher parts of myself, but let me actually just fully just tap into myself as a whole. And at that point, it's this nothing is at that point, it's this form of nothingness, but it's also full of this eternal energy that kind of makes you immortal. And that energy comes from your spirit. You know what I'm saying? The eternal energy, which is what gives birth to your soul, right? But then you have these parts too. So you have Thoth, Hathor, and Mot, right? This is your intellect. This is your willpower. This is the balance between the two, right? Because intelligence and willpower are there are two greatest faculties. That's why there's a whole story about Thoth and Hathor that I made on my YouTube a grip ago, a long ass time ago. And they're trying to show us how our intelligence interacts with our willpower. Nigga, the fact that we could fucking think and actually fucking like act out shit, that's what makes us so fucking powerful. That's why we're better than every animal on this planet because we could think better than them and we could do more. Like, I mean, some animals could do shit that we can't do, but because we have intelligence, which has control over our willpower, we have a certain direction with our actions that animals just will never have unless they become conscious in the way that we are. You see what I'm saying? And your intelligence, right, actually comes from your spirit. You know what I'm saying? Because your intelligence is your ability to know things. You know what I'm saying? Your soul is the observer, and your soul does hold the intellect and stuff like that, but all that came from your spirit. That's why it's actually linked up here with the spirit. You see what I'm saying? But yeah, like these are all parts of yourself, and then you get higher. Then your spirit wants to. So you transcended your soul and entered your spirit. Now you're gonna transcend fucking reality. Then you have fucking net and fucking the fit in the Sphinx, right? Nigga, net or a gnat. This is the matrix. This is the weave of creation. This is the images that you see in space. This is the weaved stars and stuff like that. But you're starting to transcend the matrix because you actually tapped into the energy behind the matrix. You tapped into the energy beyond what you could fucking see. And at that point you became non-dual. Like right now you live in a dualistic reality. You have yourself and you have the things outside of yourself. You know what I'm saying? When you transcend the image of something outside of yourself, you unify them all. You know what I'm saying? Then you tap into the energy behind all creation. Not just the energy of your spirit and stuff like that down here, but the energy behind all creation. And at that point, you tap into Neber the Jur also. Neber the Jur means what does Neber the Jur mean again? Neber the Jur means I forgot. It's like transcendental divinity or something like that. It's pretty much what you would call God, source, most high. You know what I'm saying? That's let's look at what Neber. Not I'm kind of getting mad. Neber the Jur meaning. God and God it. Okay, there's something. No, that's not fully it. There's a different. Oh my God, the absolute transcendental form is infinite itself. That's a good name, but there's like a there the supreme. I forgot the name. Long story short, though, it's fucking God. You know what I'm saying? And with all that being said, right? The Egyptians learned about these different parts of themselves in different parts of creation because there's way more deities than that. There's way more deities that have different aspects also, and they have pretty much just explored these different parts of themselves in reality and eventually unified them and got back in tune with that which transcends everything. You know what I'm saying? So we need to do the same exact thing. And the biggest way is literally by meditation is a fucking superpower. I'm gonna make a video about meditation being a superpower, bro. Because when you can meditate, you get deeper and deeper inside yourself and recognize so much more about yourself. And this is how the Egyptians also got really good with magic. See, here's what niggas don't really understand. If you recognize different parts of reality and how they operate, you can now manipulate how they operate. So if you work with Nut, you might learn all the secrets of the heavens, all the secrets of the stars, and all that shit, and how to actually manipulate that shit too. Real talk. You know what I'm saying? Real talk. You know? If you work with Osiris a lot, like I did, you know what I'm saying? Because I always knew that Osiris, aka Asar, is just your soul. So the more I tap into Asar, I tap more into my soul. And then I tapped more into my soul and got information from my past lives. I started developing more of my quote unquote psychic abilities. You know what I'm saying? That's just what happened. And now I'm getting more in touch with my spirit, you know? You see what I'm saying? So with that being said, you work with Osiris, you tap into your soul a lot. You see what I'm saying? You work with Nut, you learn a lot about the heavens and how they operate and how to also manipulate them. Because the thing is, right, a lot of magic is actually supposed to be done on certain phases of like certain moons or on certain star alignments. You know what I'm saying? And the thing is, it be the malevolent people who know this, bro. I actually saw a video recently from this guy. He was talking about how he used to do like witchcraft and then he became like a Christian, right? Now, like I said, I ain't a Christian, but he is, and that's cool for him. You know what I'm saying? I respect Christians. I respect all religions except for the evil stuff. I mean, I understand the evil stuff. I'm not mad at it, but you know what I'm saying? I don't fuck with that shit. I don't do that shit, you know? But long story short, when it comes to whoa, that was a huge brain fart. Hold up. The video that I saw, right? It literally dealt with this guy was talking about so he would read certain books and certain spells worked, certain spells didn't work. And he got to a point where he got a Ouija board. And after practicing with the Ouija board for a long behind time, he got in contact with demons, right? And the demons taught him how to do magic. And the demons would be like, yeah, that book doesn't work because they're doing it wrong. It's supposed to be done under this star, not under that star. You know what I'm saying? So these things really do matter. And my whole entire point is if you work with Nut, you can actually understand the science of those things and it don't got to be on no evil stuff. You know what I'm saying? You learn about how to you learn about how to actually do certain magic on certain lunar cycles and on certain freaking astrological events and whatnot. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, like simply just learning astrology. That's a practice that you would learn if you tap into Nut. You know what I'm saying? If you tap into Geb, you'll learn about the earth and different things which keep people attached to the earth. You know, you'll learn all about that type of stuff. You see what I'm saying? My ear just ring like crazy. So the thing is, that's why and the Egyptians would meditate on these different beings and stuff like that. Well, my fault, not on these different beings. They're not beings. They would meditate on these different spirits and actually understand the intelligent energy behind this aspect of creation. And at that point, they would know how to work with it. You know what I'm saying? How to manipulate it in certain ways. You know what I'm saying? And yeah. That's why they could do magic because they actually understood reality and they actually understood what was going on behind reality, beyond just what you see. That's why they even said with the deities, go beyond the physical image of the deity because they don't. It's not a being that looks like this. They just make the images and they have symbolism on the images. You know what I'm saying? Like the way that deities look is all symbolism. Like for example, Isis, right? She has a throne on her head. Literally, a set literally means the throne. Now, a set is the throne because the Asar, right, is the king or aka Osiris, that's the king that sits on the throne. So what that means is that your soul is supposed to always sit with inside your spiritual awareness. It should always observe life from the spiritual awareness. That's why she has a throne on top of her freaking head. You see what I'm saying? It's all symbolism. It's all symbolism. Like dreams. Dreams are symbolism. The Egyptians knew that this was like a dream and they could manipulate like even I'm not even the Greeks. I think it was the Greeks. I know certain people. I think it was the Greeks. When they came to Egypt, they literally said that the people were inside of a dreamlike state, which is why also some of the Egyptians got fucked up because they weren't, you know what I'm saying, paying that much attention because the thing is if like it's not shit like you are the dreamer of your individual reality, but as you spread out in the world, your reality mixes with other people's realities. You know what I'm saying? And you guys form a collective dream. You know. Now I'm saying this because with the Egyptians, right? If everybody's inside of a dreamlike state, but there's a person over there who's doing some fuck shit, that person will get karma. And if you're supporting that person, you'll have the fuck shit come to you. So here's what I mean. Let's say all the Egyptians are inside of a dreamlike state, right? But the pharaoh is evil as shit, but everybody is still worshiping the pharaoh. You know what I'm saying? At that point, the pharaoh and the people gonna get fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Cause the dream, like nigga, because there's so many aspects of the dream, and one of them does deal with righteousness and judgment. There's actually several parts of the dream that deal with because you have the overall concept of righteousness and judgment and whatever the fuck, you know what I'm saying? But then there's smaller sections inside of that. What to do when this happens? What to do when that happens? You know what I'm saying? Whatever the heck you want to talk, like whether it's judgment for civil laws or judgment for spiritual laws, whatever the fuck you want to talk about. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, right? Yeah, there's there's so many aspects to the dream. And just because they're inside of a dreamlike state, that wasn't always good because when you're inside of a dream, you're not fully aware until it becomes a lucid dream. And that's what really matters because at this point you understand why things happen and you have a greater connection to what's gonna happen. Like inside your, I don't know if you ever realize this, but like I know for me, like I lucid dream pretty often, and whenever I do, like because sometimes I leave my body, sometimes I lucid dream, sometimes I take because when I say lucid dream, I mean like I can have like full control of my dream, right? But there's also like semi lucid dreams where like I'm like fully aware of the experience, but I don't know that I'm dreaming, right? I'll choose to have those sometimes though, because it's like I'll be in a whole different reality learning some shit, but I think I'm fucking awake inside everyday life, but I'm not. But those are still important, you know what I'm saying? But whenever I'm like fully lucid inside of a dream where I have like some kind of control over this shit, I could always tell what people are going to say. Like I could talk to a person and whatever they're gonna say, I know what they're gonna say because nigga, I'm the one who's making them say it. I could tap into the intelligence behind the whole entire dream and the people inside of it. Therefore, I know what the fuck they're gonna say. It's the same with real life though. If you're very tapped in to the intelligence behind all creation, you'll know when certain events are gonna happen before they even happen. You'll just sense that shit. That's why niggas can get premonitions. You know what I'm saying? You'll just know these things. This is why, if you want crazy abilities, bro, just unify back to the source. Niggas be trying to fucking talk to demons or talk to fairies. These are just small parts of creation, nigga. Go to the full source of it. If you go to the full source, you'll tap into all those things and understand how they operate and be able to leave certain shit behind. Like for example, if I wanted to, I could tap into some demon shit and do some demon shit. I don't want to, but I do know how the fuck that shit operates because I've tapped into it in the sense of I want to learn how it operates. I didn't do no demon shit. I just, you know what I'm saying, observed that intelligence. Like, oh, that's how demons operate. That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Because you have certain entities that love to align themselves with certain parts of creation. You see what I'm saying? That's the thing. Like entities, right? Conscious beings can, like, this is why certain people like certain deities more than others. Like for example, if you like to work with um the Judy a lot, right? Or Thoth, you'll be very connected to the energy and the intelligent energy of pretty much like intelligence. You know what I'm saying? So you may become like a teacher. You may want to always know how things function on like a fucking mathematical and logical level. But if you're connecting with like fucking Gab, you might be like a person who's like a mentor who's kind of just pretty much teaching niggas about how niggas get constrained to the earth and how to overcome that shit. You know what I'm saying? Or you might, if you're working with fucking like a moon, right, which is a moon represents like the true observer. Like a moon and Osiris have like pretty much the same exact role. Like when it comes to Osiris, that's like your individual soul, and then the moon is the greater soul behind all creation. So if you tap into a moon, you'll tap into the awareness behind all creation. Like tapping into Osiris is tapping into your awareness. Tapping into a moon is the awareness behind all things. So you'll be able to literally just tap into they were like you like you may not be able to even explain what niggas are going through, but you'll be aware of what they're going through. With like the Judy, you could kind of explain what they're going through. But with a moon, you're just aware of what they're going through. And when you actually eat all the gods, or aka just take on all their aspects, you could have all these abilities. You see what I'm saying? And what's eating the gods? Returning back to source. Because as you go back to source, you regain all these aspects of yourselves and you become fully one with source and you become fully one with everything. At that point, you can manipulate the dream. You'll have crazier abilities. That's how this whole entire thing works. This is why you're ready to awaken, because you're ready to literally tap into you're literally ready to tap into the ultimate dreamer behind the dream and all the aspects of the dream. Because even inside lucid dreams, you can become lucid inside your dream and say, "Oh my God, look, I'm dreaming," but still not have full control because you can't tap into all the aspects of the dream. You can't tap into the aspects of your mind which control certain things. You see what I'm saying? So even when you become aware of the fact that holy shit, I am that which is behind all creation, you still don't master creation. To master creation, you must be able to master my fault. In order to master creation, you must be able to master every single facet of creation and every single intelligence that's behind creation that makes certain things, not just the awareness of it. You see it? So there's a lot to this shit, bro. There's a lot. But you're ready to tap in. This is why meditation is so important. When you meditate, you get deep. Literally, meditation is literally observing your own awareness. So as you start to observe, right, you may only be able to like fucking observe the noise outside of yourself. You might be able to like observe your body and sensations. But you also be able to, but the main grounding agent should be your breath. You get to actually observe your breath, and as you observe your breath and all these other things, your thoughts also come into play. Then you begin to observe your thoughts, right? Then you begin to observe where these thoughts are coming from. Then you begin to observe the observer. And as you observe the observer, you're literally observing your soul. Then, as you observe your soul deeper, you start to observe your spirit. As you observe your spirit deeper, you start to literally observe God, the Most High. And you become of that thing the more you observe it and understand it and become with it and embody it. You know? This is a really this shit's important to know. Meditation is the fucking key to everything, bro. I'm not gonna lie, nigga. That's just the fucking key, nigga. Cause like if you can meditate, you can also begin to break it off into other shit like lucid dreaming, astral projection. You can't do those things unless you're able to become detached from your thoughts, your emotions, and become the observer. Because once you become the observer, you become conscious and you gain control over what the fuck you think, feel, and do. You know, you get control of your energy, all these things. You see what I'm saying? So that's pretty much it for this video. I don't think there's much else I have to say. I will say this: if you like the video, please drop a like for your boy. Subscribe if you're new. I have several links down below for I have a Patreon, Astral Projection course, social media is down below. It's master, you know what I'm saying? If you want a spiritual session, I can help you out. But honestly, bro, just take the advice from this video and apply it. You won't even need me inside your life. Granted, like I do have extracurricular stuff and my shit is valid as fuck. But hey, if you don't even want to tap into that shit, just tap into this video and you'll experience the dream. You'll experience the dream and how to become one with the dreamer and manipulate the shit. So I love you. Catch my next video. Drop a like, subscribe. Peace the freak out.